I want the, like, now I press the record button. I'm not prepared ever. So there are things that happen in life and you have to do things and then it creates problems with other things. And the biggest one that we had was the A&R work. We did not know that we would have to burn out our like deep clip of demons from our cellular system at such a high intensity rate that it would create disease within our own body. And it doesn't create disease with our own body, it creates like a detox symptom. All right, so what we downloaded was that the opening work was basically radiation therapy, and that the A&R work was chemotherapy. We're going to cover that. But what that does to your mouth and your intestines, it's burning. You're burning out. You're burning out your DNA. Let me say that again. Chemotherapy is meant to burn out cancer cells and prevent them from splitting and dividing and mutating forward. So it actually, the A&R work is meant in the same capacity to prevent your inner demons from splitting and dividing and then mutating. So that you don't go on destructive or self-destructive cycles. It's meant for you to be at a karma balance of neutral. So you're literally doing chemotherapy on your psyche and you're through the red ray. Our chemotherapy is a cobra acid gas, obviously, instead of stick a needle in our arm and liquid comes through. But it does the same. It makes my hair fall out. It makes me really tired and nauseated. And I have such high intensity Shakti coming through. I always feel like I'm being electrocuted when I do the A&R work. And then you have the toxic gas coming through the stomach. So it eats out your stomach lining. I was having severe issues with this a year ago when we started doing A&R work for a living. Sometimes me and Kelly were on like 8-hour days just to get anything burned out and purified. So we weren't feeling like we were being punched to death or stabbed constantly. Hearing voices is nothing. The physical onslaught of the human astral is so toxic that the oceans are rotting and the animals are all dying and there's like poor oxygen quality everywhere, and like it's reflected in the earth system, period. It's also reflected in your systematic belief patterns. Like, I'm going to support Monsanto instead of my organic farmers market. And I think that supporting Monsanto is God and the organic farmers market is nothing. So that's like a toxic fallacy. So those are like cancer cells, but in the demonic form, that are sitting in your repressed cellular system that require burnout. We got to such a knowledgeable level that we figured out that the blue marks that were originally for Gebera were now being pushed down an entire separate shelf. So now the blue marks are for Hode. That it actually requires blue marks for you to even just be like an honest Hode Muggle human. Let me say that again. It requires blue marks and our burnout just to be a Hode Muggle human. And then to be like a good Netzach, We figured out that Voldemort level. Voldemort was pink marks. And that we actually required the second order stripe. So 7th house for Netzach. Let me say that again. Second house used to be at Tiferet and required nothing. And now it's 7th house at Netzach. That's how bad this planet was. All right. With the oncoming high ANR doses for the self-cleaning, you're going to have to take care of your physical because it will look like chemo. What we have is gastrointestinal mucositis. That's inflammation and ulceration of your gastrointestinal tract. But also it might come in the form of oral mucositis. So it might be ulceration of your mouth. We're going to look at everything. We're going to go through pictures. Again, I started noticing a really big difference a year ago. A year ago, it took me a year to do all of the Gaebera cleansing so that I wasn't being under attack all day long. And then Archangel Kamael M, probation, like, so Eris or Chris Pratt. Okay. I have to laugh every time I say his name. That's a hard name to take seriously in life. So Chris Pratt came through and started commenting about my intestines every day for a month. He kept nagging at me. I had to fix it. So I had to like go through the brain detox to research what was going on. And then we figured it out. Because it's not like IBS. And it wasn't like leaky gut syndrome. It's kind of like leaky gut syndrome, but it's not, because I had fine, like my intestines were fine pretty much my whole life. So this is for like healthy vibrating people that are going to up their vibrational scales so much that they could actually do physical magic on the planet. So again, we have to take care of our intestinal lining and our mouth. Okay, so sharing screen. So the first thing that we did, we're going to go over the process because this is the intro video. So the first thing that happened was Dr. Andrew Wiles' astral self came through to start putting a grid on my bathroom and in my brain that we were going to do an intestinal repair. We also prepped pretty much a year ago, no, a week to 2 weeks ago, we started listing the intestinal wall repair classes because Chris Pratt kept going, your intestines suck. They're diseased. Your intestines suck. Your intestines suck. Okay. It's a problem. All right. So Dr. Andrew Weil came through and put the grid on the bathtub for Ravenclaw Genetics intestinal wall repair. And then that night we downloaded our protocol, or the beginning of our protocol. And so this is our step-by-step of what. Please understand, I have not talked to Dr. Andrew Weil physically at all. All of this was psychic and through just the grid set. We did get the approval for him in the astral world for him to head off Ravenclaw Medical, though, obviously. All right, so 10 steps to heal your gut naturally. So I like go through Google and I like try to find anything. And And so this is what we get. Probiotics. So it's a sales pitch. Yay. Nourish your body with prebiotics. Oh my God. Okay, so I have to like, oh, okay. Drinking water and tea. Here's more sales pitch. Remove inflammatory foods. All right, so take out the bread, take out the alcohol, processed foods, refined sugar. Okay, so this is the first thing my brain sees when I look at healing my healthy gut. Fall in love with kiwi fruit. Okay, well, I live in London. I don't even know that I've ever seen a kiwi fruit in London. So we're gonna maybe not go down that. Okay, so then we have nourish with collagen. Okay, collagen is rich in glycine and glutamine, which are two amino acids that are beneficial for promoting digestion. All right, so we're gonna look at that. Enjoy a glass of green juice. Okay, exercise daily. And then enjoy warming broths. Okay, download the healthy gut diet. All right, so that's cool. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm like, all right, so I don't even know what's wrong with my intestinal tract at this point. All I know is that we have to do intestinal wall repair. And that my stomach always hurts and I'm always leaking like toxic gas throughout my intestinal tract all day long, and it's just not good. I also don't have any money, so I have no ability to go to the doctor. Yep. All right, so then I go, how do I do it naturally? I'm also in a high stress hostage situation where I have people that are stalking me all day long. They all know where I live and they drop gifts where they're going to death threat gifts at me all day long. And they're very subtle, so it doesn't trigger the police's knowledge. But they're very obvious, especially when you follow the storylines about what they're doing. Cool. That's mostly Chris Pratt's fault. Half of the gifts are because I put his name online. The other half was just the pedo ring and the cabal. And there are also the trees that are being constantly shut or cut down by the Windsors as a warning sign. So there's that. So I'm always being triggered by like, absolutely, like I'm always being triggered by stress, high stress. It will never go away. So it's up to me to like figure this out. All right, gut health foods, yogurt, kefir, miso, awesome. I can add miso to my list. Miso soup, sauerkraut, kimchi, sourdough, almonds. I'm gonna take out the almonds, olive oil, kombucha I can do. I don't know that the kombucha is gonna feel good on my gut though. Peas, Brussels sprouts, bananas. Do you see how it doesn't say juicing? Let me say this again. Do you see how like when it says gut health foods, it doesn't say juicing? I think like you kind of need to get to the point where you're hearing this. So we're gonna go heavy on the garlic, and then we're also gonna create our own pickled ginger down the road. Or we're gonna create ginger tea. That is non-sugar. All right, so we have this list. So this seems more digestible to me, right? I look at this and I go, oh, that's a sales pitch. And then I look at this and I go, I can add some of this to my, I can eat only this for however long it will require. All right. So then I start looking like, how do I take care of my gut? I'm trying to find the page where it actually showed me where it was gastrointestinal mucositis. I think we got rid of that page though. So we start looking at, maybe it's over here. Yeah, here we go. What are the symptoms of a leaky gut? Okay, so I go through what are the symptoms of a leaky gut, and I see that it's like all of them. Burning feeling of ulceration in your gut, painful indigestion, and the loss of intestinal mucosa, diarrhea, gas and bloating from fermentation of overgrown bacteria in your gut. I don't really have overgrown bacteria in my gut because I do colonic cleanses or coffee enemas. And I'm pretty well versed in that process, and it's easy. So low energy from the reduced ability to draw energy from food, and then gastrointestinal mucositis from radiation therapy. So when I went through this, this is the one that just kept on popping up. Big problem. And then I look at the ANR, and I also look at the ophanim gridding that I'm doing daily, and I go, yeah, I knew that was going to be, that's why I'm the green woman, because I'm a radioactive time bomb for this planet, because I'm the highest vibrating person on this planet. Let me say that again. I am the highest vibrating person on this planet. That's why I was required. I was required to clean out the clippeth because I could. Let's say that again. I was required to clean out the clippeth because I could. So I am the highest vibrating person on this planet. So I am the green woman, the giant radioactive thing. All right. What are the fastest ways to heal a leaky gut? How can I take care of my gut? All right. I keep on seeing the glutamine pop through. Probiotics, prebiotics, reduce dietary fats and sugar, nutrition. Okay, so everything's starting to logically compute. So then I'm like, what was gastrointestinal mucositis? So I Google it. I Google that sentence, and this is what pops up. And then you see the ulceration in the mouth, but you also see how it would affect your stomach lining. Oh my goodness. So we have the mucositis here on Wikipedia. Oh my God. And then here we have the phases of the gastrointestinal mucositis. And this is what it feels like. So stage phase 4 is that I have like these burnout. It's not like proliferation. It's not like poking tears in my gut. It's actually like burnout. Is what it feels like. So if you get cold sores in your mouth, it's like the same. That's what it feels like. You know, inflamed cells, bacteria. And so we have all this weird, we have these things that are, so we have this bacteria we need to manage. And then we have these ulcers we're going to need to fill in. This is like kind of grounded common sense, you know, like, okay, I can deal with this. All right, so the first thing is that we understand that we are doing chemotherapy and radiation therapy on our bodies with the ANR work and with the ophanim grid. That's a first level of knowledge. And then the second level is we have to manage the symptoms or the counter or the issues that are created because we're doing it. Now, if you go to a doctor and explain that you're doing ANR work and it's creating ulceration and mucositis in your gastrointestinal wall because it's like chemo, calculate how that's gonna play out, and then go run to Andrew Weil. He's the actual physical point person to handle this. So we Because we're gonna do blue marks just at Hode, and then pink marks, and then we're gonna do second stripe aura marks, and then we're gonna do 5 stripe aura marks for the good people. And then we're gonna do confessor levels down the road. Oh, and no vice. Yeah, so it will never end. And you're gonna have to like figure out a balance system. Oral and gastrointestinal mucositis due to cancer therapy, such as high-dose chemotherapy and or radiation, continues to be an important clinical problem. So if it's a problem for muggles, it's definitely a problem for us. Like, it's a physical issue. So we find all of these like diagnoses, and then we find out like weirder ways to treat it, and nothing is good. Nothing sounds good. Like there are medicines like this, like prolifer like, so like let's go popping pills. That's not our. So and then this is the other drug that's the same drug as the proliferin. It's not great. So we want to heal it naturally. So we're going to take that out. We're going to talk about the radiation therapy. So what is radiation therapy? Is a type of cancer treatment that uses high beams of energy to destroy cancer cells and shrink tumors. So when we're doing the opening grids, that's kind of the same. But that also comes through a little bit with the ANR work and the high levels of Shakti. And then our toxic gas, our ANR cobra acid gas, is chemotherapy. So it's like a gas form of this that emanates through our body and then burns out our diseased tissue and our diseased DNA. A healthy body consistently replaces cells through a process of dividing, growing, and dying. And so when cancer occurs, cells reproduce uncontrollably and do not die when they should. So when we're burning out our demons, we're burning out like cancer cells, but through the Clippeth DNA. Let me say this again. When we do our ANR work, we're burning out cancer cells, but through the Clippeth level DNA. That's your like infrared DNA. That's your shadow DNA. That's your infrared, like, so like we vibrate at the red ray. So it's like below there are levels of spectrum of light frequencies of our cells that we're burning out. Let's say that again. There are invisible rays and spectrums of our cells that we are burning out. And it's cancerous. It causes cancer. It walks into cancer. So like, I got cancer. That's because you didn't do your ANR work. I got cancer. So the Clippeth DNA is like your fate in life. It's where you will manifest reality at an earth plane, earth element level. So when you do the ANR work, you clean it. You have a better chance at everything in existence. All right. Chemotherapy drugs interfere with the cancer cell's ability to divide and reproduce. Drugs vary in how they work. Different drugs attack cancer cells at different phases of the cell life cycle. All right. So just like that's ANR work. Chemotherapy drugs interfere with the cell's ability to divide and reproduce. That's your ANR page. All my evil will go into the lava. All my demon and hell 6 will go into the lava or cobra acid. And then you start to emanate those vibrations in your body and you burn everything. That's life. All right. I love this picture. Okay, so we have, it was brought up that we have glutamine deficiency. And that's an amino acid. So that was in the first, that was just on the first page. It was, what were the two that we were required to figure out? We have glycine and glutamine. So we'll look at glycine also. All right. We did that. Here we go, glutamine. All right. Some of the reasons a person might experience glutamine deficiency are shock or extreme stress. All right, so that's just Gabera. I'm going to hit Gabera. There you go. Trauma, everything that happens when you're in Gabera. Major infections, okay, any kind of wound, and then your inability to heal it. There we go, intense exercise, it just being in Gabera. Then we go radiotherapy and chemotherapy. Everything I had to do to myself to get through Gabera. God. So there we go. So I definitely am going to be on a glutamine deficiency plan. Self-awareness. There's Gabera right there. So I don't need to look at any of these other things. Right there is half the list. Lack of glutamine in the diet. Okay. Just expect it. I'm not a chronic gastrointestinal disorder person, so that was never my issue. And I don't have HIV or AIDS. There we go, glutamine deficiency. Cool. Glutamine helps people with IBS by working to protect the mucous membrane of the esophagus and intestines. The mucous membrane blocks bacterial infiltration during digestion. Okay, so you can see, like, Andrew Weil puts a intestinal wall repair video or grid on my bath, and this is what I download. And it feels kind of solid. Like, this is a really good stepping stone to begin. Let's see if there are any other pages that we need to bring up. Here's our, yeah, so this, there it is. All right, so now we're going to talk about treatments. And we're going to go back to the food list. All right, so I have like a small budget. I have like 50 pounds a week, or like $80 a week. Okay. And I'm thinking, how am I gonna change my lifestyle to do this intestinal wall repair? I'm kind of like a homeless person. I'm like a couch surfing person that is consistently living on the grace of my current host, right? And we're building Ravenclaw together, but I need to have like a flexible ability to do anything in life. So I look at all these foods and I go, I know I can introduce the yogurt. So I try to get the least sugar. Here's our Yeo Valley yogurt. Oh no, I'm gonna stop the screen share. So I get the Greek yogurt as the least amount of sugar yogurt. And I get the highest like organic product that I can find on the market. And it's not very expensive. I could spend about 10 pounds. And I'm gonna use, that's my primary. That. The next is bananas. with peanut butter. Peanut butter is not on this list. I could add almond butter. That might even be better. Peanut butter is not on this list, but I know that my body rejects the peanut butter, but it also loves the peanut butter physically. The almond butter might be better. So we have, I can eat 3 of these a day with this. There goes my solid food. No solid food. This. All right. So now I can't live off of that, but I can. So now we have other foods. We have our sauerkraut, which is like tasty, bitter noodles. Tastes good. You can eat it. You can put it on gluten-free noodles and mix it in. Or you can get the kimchi. Yay. And this is excellent. This is something you would absolutely want on like gluten-free noodles and just mix it in. The point is that as least amount of work for my intestines required. And healing foods that are not going to continue to upset the ulceration. Drinking coffee is like mandatory in my brain. So instead of going and getting the giant cup of coffee twice a day from Brett, I am going to do a shot of espresso, and I'm going to do it with, at least 2 glasses of salt water lemonade before. So I know that my intestines are going to be able to handle it. Because again, I need a little bit of a caffeine boost before I'm never going to survive. I will not survive without the coffee. Not mentally, not emotionally. And then this. So this is lemon juice. It's one of these. Okay. 1 a day. Lemon juice and cayenne pepper with water and honey. Or you can do the maple syrup, but I just do the honey. Nothing special. So I now have like 3 glasses of highly cleansing, highly heal. Yeah. So the cayenne pepper heals ulceration in the stomach lining. So it's not going to hurt probably my intestinal tract. And then we have the probiotics. Now, this is the coffee I'm currently using, and I don't know if it's okay or not. It's organic. This is our Ravenclaw coffee. I really like what it says on here. It says, don't make him angry. You wouldn't like him when he's angry. That's what it says on here. It's Grumpy Mule. There was Ravenclaw. Don't make him angry. All right, and then we have our pink salt for our lemon salt water. All right, now we're going to talk about how we deal with like other healing components. So we have this. What this is garlic. If we scroll down that food list, garlic was on that list. Okay, so garlic is excellent for healing the stomach lining. It says here it's an antibacterial with antifungal, and it helps keep the bad gut bacteria under control. Star once told me that garlic actually helped improve the growth of stomach lining. I don't know what to believe of what Star says or not, but the point is it's on this list, and I'm gonna listen to my body, and it just goes, love, I don't want anything else in my stomach. So the garlic is like All right, so how do I eat that garlic? All right. So right now I have the peanut butter and I'll probably go swipe it out with almond butter next week. But I'm on a budget. So I have to buy the 2-pound peanut butter. We're all like, anytime we start cleanses in life, it's all like the budget style instead of the expensive style. We all have to think about that. The least amount of damage I can do. So next week week 1 will be almond butter. So I take the raw chopped up garlic and it's about 3 cloves. It's raw, it's chopped up. And I take a spoon or 3 tablespoons of the peanut butter and I mix the two. And what that does is enable it's a palate cleanser, is that I can eat the raw garlic and it tastes good. Let me say that again. Because I eat the garlic like this. With, like, I'm taking like actual spoonfuls of this peanut butter. I can stick the raw garlic in my mouth and chew it like it's food. I'm going to do this in front of you all so you can believe me. It makes it palatable. Mm. Now I have to chew it. I'm gonna crush the I'm gonna crush the garlic in my mouth before I send it into my intestinal tract. So it releases instead of making my body do the work for me. I'm gonna make my teeth do the work. That's why we have teeth to begin with. All right. And it will be almond butter next week. But this is the first way I can start like training my brain to eat the bananas. Is that I like peanut butter and I taste the peanut butter more than I taste the garlic. And the idea of eating a bunch of raw garlic sounds brutal, even if it's my best medicine that I can put in my body. Here's my juicing, is my cayenne water, my cayenne lemon, like my cayenne lemonade with honey. Woohoo, that's fancy. Again, you're not getting a juicer, you're getting a lemon, you're cutting in half and you're squeezing it in. And then you're putting like a tablespoon of cayenne pepper. When you're getting honey. And then you fill up the glass with water that's warm. That's tepid warm. It's not fancy. You don't need fancy. Remember, we're like on an ascended master spectrum, and most of us just went through Gaberus and we have no money. So we're just begging to survive through this. We've set up a million boundaries against everybody, and they all hate us. And many of us might have guns to our head at this point. So we are considered hostages in that scenario. I mean, they're sminting right now. They're sminting and they're doing implants to make us go crazy. All right. All right, so we have all these like probiotics. I'm going to share the screen again. If you say that you don't even have the money to buy like this, which is a $6, or this is like 7 pounds. So it's like 10 pounds at like a Whole Foods or an organic market. Then you might just get more like bananas. Maybe you'll get the, I don't know, what, like more kimchi. Like we're gonna figure out the cheapest, easiest, most simple way to be able to move forward. Okay, so we're gonna talk about chewing our food. We're gonna talk about probiotics. Okay, and we're gonna talk about my history. So this is like Charlene Wang's territory, but which is Cho Chang, Charlene Wang. Yay. So she is a certified naturopath. But I found Charlene Wang how many years ago? In 2012. And she was actually an apprentice or training with another naturopath that we're not going to endorse because we like Charlene Wang better. The other naturopath, I think, went off the rails a little bit during a pregnancy, and didn't really come back. And she was too much of a sales pitch instead of an effective medical practitioner. She was more of like a marketer and sale. Like she needed to sell too many bottles of medicine and herbs instead of create a suitable impact. So that is a real problem when we're dealing with Ravenclaw Medical or anything. Okay. So, but this is the product they endorsed with the Metagenics Ultra Flora Balance. And we did not find any other probiotics on the market that was in a pill form that was better than that. So that's my current, that's not Andrew Weil. That's not anything. That's my current past experience was with this brand. And we did good. It was a nice daily supplement. It was easy. There were no problems. This is about $50 a bottle. Let me say that again. So like daily. So this is you get 1 bottle a month, and it was about $50 a bottle. Most of you are like, okay. So you're gonna do the price calculation around that, and you're also gonna like do the muscle testing, and we're gonna talk about muscle testing, but in a really profound way, where we look at the product and we can start to see the product psychically at a much deeper level for if we would require it or not. So then we have other probiotics on the market that didn't trigger off neuropsychosis. That was like, oh, that's a really bad product. So just because something's popular, like, so the most popular product was also just screaming out ick. So this might be a popular product that doesn't scream out ick. A lot of the popular, they're like, oh, they have 500 ratings. Like, yay. So let's look at, so we're set to the UK. This is not the American Amazon. So let's also take note of that. So like I get ick from this. Here's the other one that sent ick, but was also a higher, this, yeah. So this product line has like 2,000 to 3,000 ratings, and they're all positive. And in the muscular system, it goes flat out no. And you can actually look at the product quality, and it looks degenerative, and it looks like psycho troubling. Instead of if you look at the product of Metagenics, it doesn't look problematic. And it has like it has 1,000-ish ratings probably for the company. This is just one product that is being rated at like from 774 people. So this and this are in the same ball game, and one is good and one is coming off as absolutely not good at all. One's coming off as problematic and one is coming off as healthy. So you need to like look at it. You need to do like the muscle testing, but you also need to imagine, hold it against your stomach. So you can imagine, like, pretend that this is ultra-flora balance and see how it reacts to your stomach. Now, my stomach says my intestines go, no, but the product itself goes healthy. Let me say that again. When I hold the product next to my stomach, it goes, no. No. Okay. When so these are definitely out. So that one doesn't even come off as healthy. This one came off as much more healthy, less ratings and cheaper price. And then we have another. This one came off as semi-healthy, but it wasn't this one, which came off as not good at all. Again, this is just my personal intuitive psychic reading, and I have no affiliation with these companies whatsoever, and I am in a state of emergency and require a lot of treatment, and I have no money. So I'm not going to buy that one ever. If anything, I'm going to go with the one that my naturopath recommended and Charlene Wang Cho Chen used to recommend. I don't know if that's her current choice, but it was once upon a time. All right, let's go back. Let's go stop sharing. Let's go get our light back on. There we go. Let there be light. So these are bottled live. This is kefir probiotic. The 100 billion living cultures. So when I put absolutely this, not this all the time, but this every day is what my stomach says instead of pilled probiotic formula. There's an upgrade to this one that's 200 billion living cultures. And that's just what my stomach says. My own personal body is communicating that. This. Then I go, is it like AM or PM? And then it says PM, like, but maybe before bedtime. So that my digestional tract is like using it at night when I'm sleeping and I'm in body repair mode. How many of these glasses of lemon water do I require? It says all day. Let me say that again. It's lemon salt water. So it's the pink salt water. And then how I make it is I don't buy more lemons. I take the rinds of the lemons I use to, so non-wasting. So I use this and I make my one glass of lemon juice in the breakfast. And I take the rinds and I have a pitcher. Let me show you. Oh no. This. It looks all cloudy because that's the salt water, but it's also all the lemons. And this, I can collect it over a few days and then I can redo it fresh. But that way I can have my drink all day long. Simple. The whole point about integrating like treatment practices into your daily life is to make them practical and easy and easily accessible. Let me say this again. If it's too hard for my brain to think about making my lemon water daily, I'm less likely to do it. If I have my lemon pitcher and it sits on my counter, I am more likely to do this all day long. If I set up my coffee, I'm only allowed this. This is all I'm allowed while I do an intestinal wall repair. I get a shot, maybe 2 of these maximum. I get a good shot of espresso. That's it. Okay. And I should always have a bowl of bananas. It's easy to get peanut butter up front. You can find it anywhere. And then it's easy after you get the peanut butter to then go buy the next week the almond butter. Oh my God, we integrated a new upgrade. And it was simple because my brain's already thinking about like, what's my peanut butter? Instead of going, oh no, I wasn't perfect. I can't do anything today. It's better to start with the peanut butter and then move forward into the almond butter the next week. And then my brain's not going crazy because I have too much change happening. All right. So again, my lemon water all day. How many of these glasses of water do I require? One all day in the morning. So maybe 2 and just drink it throughout the day. This is like my dessert drink because it's got all the honey in it. How many of these bananas should I have? Like 3 a day. How much all day? The yogurt all day long. I have another brand of yogurt. I mean, it's the same brand, but it's just like the blue canister of the Greek yogurt. It's easy. Like, this is my dinner, is the kimchi. And right now, I don't have the gluten-free noodles. So I'll probably just get the cheaper regular noodles. And then the next purchase, I get the gluten-free noodles. Yay. I'm going to buy something that's gluten-free. Narcissist. I can't stand those gluten-free people. But when you need it, the product's available. Man. Okay, so like the sauerkraut, once a day at dinner time. All right, so we have this like, so I put it next to my stomach and I ask my stomach, what do I want? And then tomorrow it might be different. Maybe next week it will be different. We have a week-long review. That will be the new video. We have to be flexible sometimes. And then our body changes and our body heals. We're also on a take out all the intense exercise. So we're on like an 8-mile walk a day or like a 5-mile walk a day. And that's about max. Maybe more, maybe less. Maybe add like, how do I integrate the yoga into my daily practice? Right now, the idea of integrating yoga into my daily practice aggravates my stomach. Let me say that. I know I'm in a collapse system. Like my body is really weak and my intestines are weak because the idea of adding yoga into my practice, just yoga, is too much for my body to handle. There are times, so again, this is post Gabera. Gross. So again, we take our probiotic kefir shot at night, and I have my cute little shot glass. So now I kind of have it like it's a nice little ritual. And it makes me happy. I think about all the positive. So I've wired my brain to like what I'm about to do. Let me say that again. I'm buying foods that I would naturally enjoy instead of it being toxic to my mind and my emotions. I'm not fighting my mind and my emotions while integrating a new process. This is an easy cleanse. For me, I like the taste of sauerkraut, and I love the taste of kimchi, and the idea of putting kimchi in with a bunch of gluten-free noodles is dinner. That's easy. All right. Now we're going to talk about glutamine deficiency. So if you look on Google, there are like the foods that have high levels of glutamine. High glutamine foods. So the first one that pops up is egg. We have our eggs. Now, when I put the eggs at the stomach, it says only with the kimchi at night when it's like late at dinner. That's what it says for my eggs. So already I'm just kind of slowly integrating. So like eggs aren't really a solid food. This is like an easy digest food. It doesn't have, it's not rough around the edges. It's not like rice or quinoa. Like, quinoa is not good to have with leaky gut. And I don't think that rice is either, but that's my own personal experience. So beef is high. We're not eating beef. Like, we're not allowed meat. If we're allowed meat, are we even allowed chicken? We're not allowed fish. Are we even allowed to eat chicken? These are the questions that you have to like, with like, what's our CRI? Like, how is the Gaybera gonna hurt me more just by eating more meat? So, so we're like vegetarian in this lineage at like as least toxic as possible, as least toxic and as most practical as possible. We're not like buying vegan protein powder and we're like Hare Krishnas, just like that. But yeah. So now we have like white rice or basmati rice. And then it says, when I put the basmati rice next to my stomach, it says never while I have intestinal problems. Let me say that again. So I can hear my stomach lining, and it says never while I'm having intestinal problems. I'm eating the basmati rice. And then I like the idea, I'm gonna like tofu. Maybe I can throw tofu in that mix. That's another thing. Like kimchi with tofu and egg. That sounds kind of good. That's a dinner. That's simple. So tofu has a higher dose of glutamine, and this is just the first Google search, like the first accessible Google search, which is high in glutamine. Eggs, beef, skim milk, tofu, white rice, and corn. This has nothing to do with my own personal anything. This is just like, what am I allowed to eat and what like tofu. I know I've muscle tested at a naturopath that I'm not like, soy is not good for me. I'm not allowed to eat soy. So maybe I'm not allowed tofu. And if I am, it's like in low doses. So there's preset medical conditions of like what our body was even allowed to eat to begin with that we have to work with. Oh my God. It's crazy making to an individual. I loved going to the naturopath. All right, so let's talk about the glutamine. This is what pops up on, this was what popped up on Amazon with this brand. That was like, yeah. And then I muscle test, it's like, yeah. And then my intestines go, yeah. And then I asked Simon, and he goes, yeah. And Simon gets like yes and no answers from God. And he goes, so it's all aligned with yes. So this is the current brand where we purchased this bulk glutamine. You might have an issue with this one, and you might go, yeah, on it too. And it's like a heap of it's a powder, and it's a spoon. We're gonna open it up. If you're like one of those people that, so we're like, it looks like powdered sugar. I've never seen glutamine in its raw form ever. I'm not big on supplements. All right, it says 1 scoop mixed in water, and then the scoop is this big. That looks like it's the size of it. That's an inch. I love that it's in the cobra acid green too. That's cute. It's prepared for us. So am I allowed to put my glutamine in my lemon water? Probably. Let's do it on fresh water. It says to do it in a glass of water or a protein shake. And if you're maybe you're gonna do a protein shake. So I'm gonna have a glass of water. Take 1 to 3 servings daily. It says 1, 2, like it says, my body says 3 servings right now. And then it says that it's telling me that the lemon water is not, it does this to it. So it has to be interspersed with lemon water. That's what my pretend intuition says, and we will see if that is suitable. And we'll see if that is a suitable course of action. I know that Andrew Weil is telling me in my ear, like in the astral planes, no solid foods for a month. So like this is the extent of my rebellion. Will be to have noodles with my kimchi, and that's the extent of my solid food, and then the eggs. Bananas aren't really, so like that's not. So there we've got it. So that's our prep. I have kind of spent a week doing the bananas and the garlic, and already I see a noticeable difference. Like my intestines don't feel like they're bleeding out gas all day long. Now we're going to talk about coffee enemas. If you're big on intestinal cleanses with like enemas or coffee enemas, minimize it because it might be aggravating, but you also need to be activating your liver appropriately. We know that. And here's like, you can also do the can you do probiotic intestinal cleanses instead of the point is that we're killing out like let's not kill our intestinal wall lining with like super acidic foods or cleanses, and let's begin to do a solid repair work. So again, minimizing the reverse So for some people, that might be reversing their entire existence because they're used to like parasite cleansing or coffee enemas for liver cleansing. And this is not that. This is like your body is in a state of emergency, and now you have to do a build. You have to do an intestinal wall build, and it creates a different outcome than like I'm gonna blast my intestines with bombs. Is what you're doing when you're doing parasite cleanses. How can I like the wormwood? Like, don't do wormwood or like black walnut hull and the clove. Like the cayenne pepper is okay. Just don't like we're not doing a parasite cleanse. We're doing an intestinal wall repair. Stay away from all that for like a number of months, unless you have like a doctor saying that you should do it or a naturopath saying you should do it. I'm going to try to do both at the same time. Some people are like that like that's psycho. That's psycho. So we're going to do like we're doing this for 90 days. We're doing an intestinal wall repair build for 90-day spectrum. And the first month is the emergency zone. Okay, that is it. I'm not going to eat corn to increase my glutamine when I can do like a simple powder. I'm not going to drink, I'm probably not drinking skim milk, and I'm probably not eating beef, and I'm probably not going to eat tofu. So it's eggs. All right, we're done. Color run out.